Hi everybody, this is Morgan Edwards, Regional Manager for South Asia and Australasia at Bangor University here in the UK. This is a presentation to give students from these regions an idea about Bangor University, the courses that we have on offer, the scholarships, us as a location, and just a general overview of what and who we are as a university. Obviously, this is a really challenging time for you as international students as you begin to make your decisions or your final decisions about whether or not you're going to study in September and perhaps beyond in January 2021, September 2021, and even beyond that. So the aim of this presentation is just to connect with you guys in a different way, to let you know more about the university. Obviously, international travel is very, very difficult, if not impossible at the moment, and it will probably remain very difficult for a number of months after COVID-19 has kind of eased off. So, like I said, this presentation just aims to have that, more personal connection with you guys and to answer some common questions. So I hope that it's of interest and of use to you. So we'll go ahead with the presentation. I'm just going to turn off my video to make sure that we can have a good connection. And I will just do that now. So bear with me for 1 second, please. Turn off the video. And share screen. There we go. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that now. So your adventure starts here, Bangor University. Here's a picture of me with a much neater haircut when I could get to a hairdresser's, and my contact details as well. So if for some reason that your questions aren't answered during the presentation, please feel free to drop me an email, m.edwards@bangor.ac.uk, or you can call me on the mobile or add me on WhatsApp, 07584 556 726, and I'll be happy to speak with you over WhatsApp or on the phone. Also, make sure to follow us on social media. So check us out on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find some fantastic pictures and imagery of the university. And, as you'll see from this presentation, Bangor is a very photogenic or a very beautiful, university town. So there's plenty of nice things to see. So obviously, it's very difficult to do a presentation at the moment without talking about our response to COVID-19. And I thought I would get this out of the way up front. So with regards to September 2020, the plan is to go ahead with a mix of face-to-face and online classes. Now, we're in the process of kind of making the kind of small announcements as to how that's going to work in practice. But basically, it'll be some kind of system of rotating students between face-to-face and online classes throughout the course. We're obviously going to be keeping an eye on what's happening in your countries, for the regions I'm responsible for. So in Australasia and South Asia, we'll be understanding the challenges that you're facing with regards to COVID-19 in your countries and making decisions and announcements and, incorporating flexibility in what we're doing to make sure that we can accommodate your needs. This leads me into my next point. So this is quite important, especially for students in South Asia. Because IELTS centres are closed and you'll still have the need to prove your English proficiency in most situations, we are accepting alternative English tests. And one of those, or perhaps the most convenient for you guys, would be the Duolingo online test. Now, for the majority of master's level courses at Bangor University, we require an IELTS level 6. And if you take the Duolingo online test, this will be equivalent to 105 points. So on that basis, we will be able to accept you meeting the English requirements for your test. There's also a few other tests that we're accepting as well. So please visit our website for full details, which is www.bangor.ac.uk. Universities play a very important role in society in terms of innovation and not just education, but giving back to the local communities as well. And obviously, that's incredibly important in a time like a national health or an international health crisis, I should say. So here's just a few kind of the things that Bangor University has been doing to support local community and to help provide support and our expertise in these very difficult times. So, collecting suitable PPE for the NHS and making sure that they have enough equipment to stay safe in the very important work that they're doing. converting some of our halls of residence to accommodation to allow NHS staff to stay there. So there's a very large hospital in Bangor, and a lot of the NHS staff have been offered places to stay with us during their work. Producing hand sanitizer and other PPE equipment such as visors. You can see a whole list of the things that we've been doing. So we've been making a really important contribution to research and communities. And finally, student support. So how are we helping students throughout all of this? Bangor University has one of the best student support services in the whole country, in the whole of the UK. And we were, regularly voted in the top for this service. There's some fantastic staff members there that do a really great job of connecting with students, even under normal circumstances, just making sure that they're comfortable and they have everything they need to get by in Bangor, and they're not struggling in anything. And this is even more true during COVID-19 crisis. They're checking in weekly Zoom sessions, speaking to students about things like visas and immigration, and obviously how COVID-19 may impact that, any financial issues which are affecting students as well, and all the other kind of services which fall under student support, so disability, skills and employment, so things for careers and beyond graduating from university. So, the university is really giving students the support they need to not just survive, but to thrive in university. And I want you to rest assured that if you decide to come and study with us in September, you will have access to this really fantastic support team that do an incredible job for the university. So hopefully that can allay some of your fears. So without further ado, we can kind of get into the main presentation. And the first question I would like to ask my viewers is, would you rather be in this environment? And obviously you'll recognize this immediately as a very busy London with the underground, the buses, the tall buildings, and of course the crowds of people. Or would you rather be in this kind of environment? Now, for me personally, it's a no-brainer. North Wales is arguably one of the most stunning places to live in the world, and I've been very fortunate both with my job and personally to do a lot of traveling around the world, countries like South Korea, China, America, Canada, New Zealand, and I can say with confidence that North Wales is absolutely one of the most beautiful, stunning locations that you can ever be. But what does this mean for you as students? Maybe you don't think that's quite important. Well, actually, it does have a huge impact on your kind of mental state, your environment which you're in whilst you're studying. Studying can be very stressful at times, especially if you're in a big city. And if you're in a big city, it's very hard to escape and find peace and solitude and kind of clear your mind. But I'm sure you'll agree with me that when you look at a picture like this, it just kind of brings a wave of calm over you, right? And if you're, during your studies, if you have that feeling stressed any time, just going up the mountain and being around this beautiful landscape is very beneficial for you. In English, we have a phrase, so the elevator pitch, which basically means, you have 30 seconds to sell somebody a product. And if I was going to give an elevator pitch to you guys, if I was going to give you, 1 minute just to kind of ask you to remember a few things about Bangor and what's special about Bangor, these would be the 3 things that I would ask you to remember. So the first thing is that we're a very cost-effective university. We're regularly voted as the cheapest place to live in the whole of the UK. We have very competitive tuition fees, compared with some of our other similarly ranked universities, and we have really good scholarships as well. And I will talk about those in a bit more detail later. So I like to say that all of this means that we can deliver quality education for less. The second important thing to remember about Bangor is that we're very competitive both domestically and internationally in subjects that matter. What do I mean by subjects that matter? It's subjects that are having a really important and influential impact on the future that we're moving into nowadays. So, for example, the School of Psychology is doing some really fantastic research into mindfulness and mental health, mental well-being. And obviously, with COVID-19 and people feeling very stressed in lockdown, that's more relevant than ever before. Environmental sciences. Now, I've chosen to put that in bold because it's an area which is affecting every country worldwide, and it's also something which is very close to me, very important to me personally. The Environmental Sciences Department in the School of Ocean Sciences, they're doing some fantastic research around climate change and sustainability, and just kind of learning about how we can have a more positive impact on our environments. And then electronic engineering, they're doing some excellent research into 5G, microfabrication and nanotechnology, so things related to the chips that go into all of our electronic equipment nowadays. Bangor has specialist research areas and facilities, in these fields. And then the final thing is location, location, location. I've already touched on that at the beginning of the presentation, and it's a common theme throughout. But really, it's really difficult to overestimate how important location is, not just to Bangor, but to students as well. So just a few accolades and rankings to talk about here, which I think are important for Bangor. So our teaching is TEF Gold, and this is the highest rating that you can get for your teaching quality. So Bangor is one of a few universities in the UK that have this, TEF Gold ranking. In 2019, we were voted the best university and clubs for clubs and societies. So that tells you that Bangor is a very sociable, a very friendly and welcoming campus. And it means that you as international students are going to get to try new activities that you've never done before and meet new people from different backgrounds and different kind of cultures. And arguably, that's the most valuable thing about coming to a university, is seeing different ways of viewing the world. 2018, Bangor was voted best student accommodation in the UK. So that tells you that you're going to have really clean, modern, up-to-date living facilities. At the end of a long, stressful, busy day, you're going to have somewhere that's very clean, modern and comfortable to go home to relax in and to wind down. And that's incredibly important. Don't underestimate that. The next one is a really important one for Bangor. So out of over 100 universities in the UK, we've been in the top 10 for overall student satisfaction since 2017. So I'm not sure if the results are out this year for 2020. So hopefully we'll be in the top 10 again for that, which would mean 4 years in a row. So that would be absolutely incredible. And that measures things like, overall satisfaction with the course, accommodation, tuition, and all those kinds of things. And this final one is a relatively new one, but I would say it's arguably one of the most important ones, in that Bangor has recently been voted as a top 70 global university working towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Now that again just shows you how important Bangor, thinks about having a positive impact on the world, a more positive relationship with our environment. So we're making efforts to reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, for example, to reduce our plastic waste, to increase the number of kind of vegan and vegetarian options that we're using to reduce our reliance on meat. So we're doing some really fantastic things at the university, and hopefully that appeals to you as students with a concern about the future, about climate and the environment as well. So even though Bangor is a relatively small institution with around 10,000 students, we're a very international university. So you can see of those 10,000 students, around 2,000 of them come from overseas and represent over 90 countries, which is really incredible when you think about the international makeup and what that means from campus. You can see some of the countries that are represented there, but also there are other countries like Nepal, for example. Canada has a big representation, lots of countries in Europe and Southeast Asia. So we're definitely a very multicultural and diverse university, and you're going to very much benefit from that experience, this globalized kind of campus that we have. Subject areas. So as you would expect from a major university, we offer all the kind of major fields that would be of interest to students. So in South Asia, the most popular kind of subject areas are business and MBA, computer science, electronic engineering, healthcare and nursing, psychology, and law. But we're also, seeing, more interest in more niche subjects like biological sciences, environmental sciences, and music as well. So we have a really broad range of subjects, and I'm sure that we can cater to your needs and to help you find a suitable program. So tuition fees. Here's just a really quick slide about tuition fees, and You can see that it ranges from 14,500 right up to 20,000. Now, obviously, the difference in price depends on which program you're studying for, and it's always important to remember that for undergraduate, these are fees per year, so you'll be paying that fee for 3 years, obviously, whereas postgraduate taught and research would be 1 year because they're 1-year programs. What you need to apply to the university, so the minimum things, the minimum documents that you'll need to have an application with the university are listed on the right-hand side there. And obviously, if you choose to go with a recruiting agent, they will be very experienced and knowledgeable about the different documents that you'll need to have to submit a successful application with us. But obviously, if you want to apply by yourself, by all means, you're able to do that. These are the documents that we would need from you. Living costs. So obviously, tuition fees is just one small component of the overall cost of going to study overseas. The other important one being living costs. Like I said at the beginning of the presentation, Bangor University is definitely one of the kind of cheapest places to live in the UK, and you can see that reflected in this very small table here. So the UK government recommends that students have £9,135 per year for their living costs. And you can see that actually towards the lower end of this scale, students in Bangor can live for much below that figure. And all these prices are based on students living in university accommodation with prices starting from £90. Now that £90 includes absolutely everything. So your electricity, water, gas, Wi-Fi, and a gym membership. So it's extremely good value for money. And if you'll remember, Bangor's accommodation was the best accommodation in 2018. So you're going to be in very modern, clean, quality facilities. And it's going to make your overall experience of living at university halls very enjoyable. Just another small thing is it's very difficult to give an exact number to what students will be paying their overall costs, because everybody ultimately has a different way of living. Some people live, in a very simple life. They don't go out very often, so obviously their overall costs are going to be much lower than somebody who likes to eat out every day, who likes to travel and go shopping. So this is just a really broad estimation for your living costs, but you can see at the lower end of the spectrum, you'd be living for much lower than other cities in the UK. So that's obviously information about the cost to you, but how is the university helping you? Bangor University has over £1 million of scholarships to award each year to its students, and you will be the beneficiaries of that with a number of scholarship programs that we have on offer. So these are the main scholarships that Bangor University has for international students, with a small difference between the 4 of them. So the first 2 scholarships, they require an application form. So basically you apply to the university first, receive your offer, and then you can apply for these scholarships. Unfortunately, if you're looking to come in September 2020, the deadline has now passed. However, if you're coming in January 2021 and beyond, the applications for these will be open. So do keep an eye out on the website for information about when these open. The next 2 scholarships, the Dean Scholarship and the International Scholarship, they are automatic scholarships, meaning that when you apply to the university, you will automatically be considered for the scholarship and you don't need to do anything else. So this is really convenient for you guys, and all of our international students will be considered for these scholarships. Just a few more kind of notes to make there at the bottom. You can only have 1 scholarship, but you will always be awarded the scholarship with the highest amount if you're eligible for more than 1. Again, any further questions about scholarships, you can contact me via email or WhatsApp, and I'm very happy to answer your questions. So that's enough about the kind of day-to-day of being in university, the studying, the costs, etc. What are you going to do outside of university? Well, I think traditionally the UK and certainly Wales has perhaps a reputation of being quite a sleepy, a quiet, perhaps even a boring place to live. And I can tell you from personal experience from living here, that's absolutely not true. So you can see this picture here. It's taken at a local adventure park near to the university called Zip World. You should check it out online on YouTube and visit our website. And this ride is very, very exciting. At the top of that mountain is a very small building, and they strap you to this wire, and then they throw you off the mountain. You can travel, I think, up to 100 kilometers an hour. So it's very, very exciting. And actually, if you have any budding travelers amongst you, then you'll probably be aware of a company called The Lonely Planet, who publish very highly regarded travel guides every year. And they actually voted North Wales as one of the top adventure destinations in the world. After a few places in Canada and New Zealand. So that just demonstrates to you just how exciting we are as a place to visit. We have so many incredible things to do here. Obviously, the mountains, but beaches, and there's so many other activities that are on offer. The region is really transforming into a very exciting place with really cool things to do. And it's no wonder that students from other cities tend to come to North Wales, come to Bangor for a weekend to do things and have these adventure activities. So just to give you an idea about Bangor, where Bangor is in terms of location, it's about 2 hours away from Manchester on the train, 2.5 hours roughly from Birmingham, and about 3 hours, give or take, to London. So it's very, very well connected to the rest of the UK. Now, even though we're comparatively a small city, we don't have the big brand shops, the big brand restaurants, chain restaurants here. We do have those on offer. But if you're looking for the kind of top end stuff and you want a bit more of a buzzy feel to the city, it's very easy to travel to these cities like Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham, and London. It's very easy to do that on the weekend. I just said how accessible it is. There's a major train station in Bangor, and you don't need to change on any of those train journeys to those other big cities. So it's extremely convenient. You have the low cost of living in Bangor, but easy accessibility to bigger cities. If you want to go and do big shopping trips or watch your favorite football team, it's very easy to get around the UK. And again, just some more pictures here to give you an idea of the location and the surroundings that will be around you if you decide to come and study with us in Bangor University. So the top left, you can get an idea of our beautiful coastline, our beautiful beaches with clear blue skies, clear blue waters, and golden sands. Obviously, when the weather is nice, you guys can go down and enjoy this. And the student support team and societies within the university, they organise regular trips to the beaches throughout the year. And you can see on the right-hand side there, even on a cold, wet day, it still looks strangely beautiful, right? With that kind of dark cloud against the dark rocks, and that, again, Zip World, that very exciting adventure park there. I'd highly recommend going there. I've been there a few times myself, and it's really good fun. And perhaps if you're not so interested in all these adventure things, and you're interested in kind of a quieter, historical, cultural thing, then we also have that in North Wales as well. So we're very famous for all the castles that we have along the coastline, the North Wales coast. And here you can see one, in the evening, a very beautiful castle in a place called Carnarvon. It's about 10 or 15 minutes away from Bangor. Some very nice restaurants, pubs and bars there. A really nice day out to go and see this beautiful, beautiful castle, and many more others like this in North Wales. So as I said, Bangor's student support team is one of the best in the UK, and they offer a really fantastic range of services and the most approachable people that you'll ever meet. For many of you, this will be the first time that you've travelled internationally, certainly travelled internationally by yourselves, and that can be quite a scary thing. So it's really important for you to understand that there are people here who, understand that, and they're there for you. They will give you all the support you need to feel comfortable in Bangor and to make sure you've got everything that you need. And these are the two gentlemen that run the student support team. So Alan on the left-hand side and Marcel on the right-hand side. And actually, Marcel has a really fantastic story in that he came to Bangor as a student. He's originally from Spain. He came to Bangor as a student. He liked it so much, he stayed and did a degree with us, and then he stayed and got a job with us, and now he's settled in Bangor. And I think that's just a really fantastic indication of how international students feel about Bangor, how important it is. And actually, Marcel's case is not unique. There are plenty of other people who came as students and stayed after that because they enjoyed Bangor so much. But anyway, these guys, they offer some really fantastic services. They're always there, open door for you, and you can connect with them online, giving you advice on visas, healthcare, immigration, finance, and a whole host of other things. So just, I want you guys to know that you'll definitely be looked after if you come here, and you'll have a really fantastic team of people supporting you. So just to say a few quick things about some of our more popular programs in Bangor University. Obviously, business studies and MBAs are some of the more popular areas. And Bangor is quite unique because we have 11 different MBA programs, whereas most other universities only have 2 or 3 quite general MBAs. And that's not quite right, because business is a very diverse sector. There's so many industries that you could go into. There's so many different facets to business, so many different roles. So, the business school in Bangor was aware of this, and they wanted to be more flexible in terms of offering a greater range of MBA programs to accurately reflect the real world of business. So, for example, if you're interested in sustainable business or businesses that have a more positive impact on the world, or businesses that are linked to those programs, then the environmental management MBA will be perfect for you. And you can see the kind of career direction that you'd be looking to go in. However, if you're more interested in systems, in software, in platforms, networks, and technology kind of things, then the information management MBA would be really, really suited for you. But then you can obviously see that we have a whole range of MBA programs there. So, hopefully there'll be something there that can appeal to you rather than just a very general MBA program. It's also important to note that apart from one of the MBA programs, all of them come with a professional qualification. And this is really important because some of the universities, they don't offer professional qualifications as part of their degree program, which means that after a student graduates, they have to spend another few months, even years, getting these professional qualifications. So the fact that you guys come out of your MBA program with kind of the first few steps on the professional qualification ladder, employers will really value that. So they'll look down very favorably on the students who have professional qualification. Electronic engineering. So Bangor University is actually one of the oldest universities in the UK. We were founded in 1884. So we've been delivering high quality education for almost 150 years now. And actually our electronics engineering department is the oldest in the UK. But despite being the oldest, we're still at the top of the game. You can see there this year, 2020, we were in the top 25 for electronic engineering and the top 15 for teaching quality in this field. So you're obviously going to be coming to an institution with a long-standing history in electronic engineering, but still maintaining very high quality. And you can see some of the specialist areas there. So I mentioned earlier, so 5G research, we have a specialist research field there, which is going to underpin a lot of the technology moving forward, faster communications, automation of things. 5G is going to be key to that. Nanotechnology and microfabrication, I believe that is relevant to the kind of creation of tiny little microcomputers and microchips, semiconductors. I'm testing my own technical knowledge here. All these kind of chips which go into all of our electronic devices nowadays. So that's really important, that Bangor has a specialist knowledge and specialist fields in those areas. And then finally, computer sciences. So here is a kind of a snapshot of some of the companies that our graduates have gone on to join. And you'll see here that they're very diverse companies, very diverse industries, but they have one thing in common in that they are some of the biggest companies in the world. So I like to say that, graduates from Bangor have gone on to join the biggest companies in the world, which kind of suggests that if you're a graduate from Bangor University, you're one of the best in the world, because these companies have extremely rigorous application processes, very, very high requirements to get into these roles. And the fact that we have had graduates join these companies just demonstrates that, we're at the top of the game, and that you won't be, you'll have a very good opportunity when you graduate from Bangor University to go on and do something similar. So that is the end of the presentation. Thank you, everyone. I'm very grateful for you sitting through that. Hopefully it wasn't too long and it's answered a lot of your questions. Again, please feel free to drop me an email or give me a phone call or get in touch on WhatsApp if you have any specific questions that you'd like answering. I'm more than happy to connect with you online. So you've got my contact details there. And again, yeah, I just like to thank you very much for joining the presentation today, and I hope it was useful. And I look forward to hearing from you.